Hey guys, Kaisaya here. For this video, I'm gonna be sharing you guys my knowledge on how to play Ilumia. Ilumia is an area of effect mage that is very useful in crowd control and in harassing enemies. It says in the game that she has a high difficulty in terms of usage, but she's actually pretty easy to use when you master her skills and know when is the right time to cast her global ultimate. Skills. First skill, Divine Light. Her first skill is Divine Light that has a 3 seconds cooldown to start. It can be casted to a specified direction which explodes upon contact with enemies in range. This skill's damage is twice powerful when it is enhanced with her passive. Passive, Goddess. Illumia's passive skill refreshes the cooldown and strengthens her first skill within the first 3 seconds after using 2 of her active skills. Second skill, Banish. This skill knocks back enemies within Illumia's range. This has a cooldown of 10 seconds. Ultimate, Cataclysm. A global skill that summons underneath the location of enemies, stunning and dealing damage. Leveling up of skills. I suggest that your priority in terms of leveling the skills be skill 1, then ultimate, then skill 2. Equipment. For the equipment, you basically want to aim for the maximum allowed 40% cooldown in the game. There's a lot of possible setup for the equipment of Ilumia, but this setup has been very useful for me in the ranked games. Flashy Boots, giving you 10% cooldown speed and movement speed. Virtuous Necklace, giving you 20% cooldown speed, 140 ability power, 300 mana, 30 mana per 5 seconds with a very useful passive called Soaring Spirit, which restores 20% of your mana after a kill or assist. This is very useful so you won't have to go back and forth to the base because as Ilumia, you most likely will have a lot of assists because of your global ultimate skill. Rhea's Blessing, giving you 10% cooldown speed, 140 ability power, 25% magic lifesteal, and the unique passive that will save you from an attacker called Life Shield, which gives you a 4 seconds shield that absorbs damage when HP is below 40%. Frosty's Revenge, giving you 140 ability power, 220 magic defense, 7% movement speed, and a unique passive called Chill that reduces movement speed of enemies when hit by any of your damage dealing skills. Holy of Holies, giving you 400 ability power and an HP of 1400. Lastly, Hecate's Diadem, giving you 200 ability power, 35% of your total ability power, and 75 magic pierce. During a very late game, you can still even sell your flashy boots in exchange for other equipment that is needed depending on the current situation of your game. You don't have to worry that much about losing movement speed because you still have that on your Frosty's Revenge equipment. Arcana Basics. For the red Arcanas, a basic balance between ability power and magic pierce is suggested, so Violate will be a good choice. For the purple Arcanas, I suggest Benevolence that gives you HP, movement speed, and HP regeneration. This will help Ilumia not become so squishy and have a higher survival chance, so that there will be more time for her to be useful for crowd control and global presence for her teammates. For the green Arcanas, you can have Hex giving you ability power and cooldown speed, which is very helpful on the early game until you reach the 40% cooldown cap. Skills Combo. Illumia's basic combo is first skill, second skill, first skill, ultimate. First skill to start, second skill to trigger the passive, first skill again which will be this time enhanced because of the passive, then ultimate to complete the combo. Laning. Ilumia can go on either of the 3 lanes. It really depends on your teammates' composition or your agreement and rotation plan with your teammates. But if you're playing solo, it is better to adjust for your teammates as Ilumia will be useful in either lanes anyway. The important thing is, when playing solo and have no voice communication with teammates, as much as possible, get to level 4 first before trying to switch and back up on different lanes. Clear your designated lane first before moving to other lanes to back up. Be aware of what's happening in the minimap. Even by just looking at the position of your teammates and enemies in the minimap, you'll know when to properly cast your ultimate. When to cast your ultimate? Aside from using it on the combo, you can cast your ultimate during the following situations. Number 1. Saving your teammates. If you're far away from the fight where your teammates are getting engaged, cast your ultimate once you see them running low on life or there is a dive. You can easily notice the hero icons in the mini-maps coinciding together. Number 2. Defending your towers. You can slow down the enemy heroes when they are in an attempt to take down your towers by casting your ultimate. Then, you and your teammates can follow the defense. But, it depends on the situation. If your tower is too low and everyone from your team is far away from the tower being taken down, better to not cast the ultimate as it will lead to a waste. Just give away your tower and just use your ultimate on a better chance to harass. When to not cast your ultimate? First, don't cast your ultimate when you simply want to steal kills. It's best to save your teammates first. Number 2. Don't cast your ultimate randomly just to spot the current location of the enemy heroes. Third, don't cast your ultimate when enemies are running away and not crowd controlled. These last 2 reasons will just lead to a wasted ultimate. So, that's it for my Ilumia tutorial. If you have any questions, suggestions, or constructive critique about my tutorial, please don't hesitate to comment down below. Thank you so much for watching and listening.